For those who don't know me, I need to take you back to a time when I didn't have a garage. Back to 2020, back to the days of COVID and lockdown, where I started my channel.
You must stay at home.
Like millions of other people stuck in a house, I managed to find something that keep me occupied. So I started repairing cars from Copart on the drive. I had no experience, but realised very quickly that the weather had a massive part to play. It's hammering down with rain. This is the joys of not having a garage. Chair and an umbrella. Rain pouring everywhere. Oh, this is not good. So I was determined not to get beaten by the weather, so I bought an all-weather canopy, but sadly I had to take it down as my neighbours reported me to the local authorities and I would have had a fine. So after being on a waiting list for well over a year, I couldn't believe it that I had my own garage. These garages were only intended for small cars and storage. So freezing cold, with concrete dust everywhere and poor lighting, at least I was dry and I started recording my videos. So I didn't waste any time decorating the garage. I rushed and got grey floor paint from Screwfix and white masonry paint for the walls. What do you think of the garage, guys? The new base for reviving Salvage. This made a massive difference to the garage as it made it brighter and cleaner. Bigger projects coming through the door, this definitely felt like a workshop. With every project car, there was more and more parts. I added more shelving to free up more floor space. With every new project, I gained skills and confidence to tackle bigger and harder jobs, ripping out gearboxes on axle stands on the floor. All this looked difficult, but the hardest part was doing this all without electric or lights. So I had a plan, and it was time to put that plan into action. After struggling with a rechargeable light and the fumes from a generator, it was time to go green, and that involved using solar panels. To carry on recording through the winter, I needed lights. To do that, I bought a kit off Amazon. This included 2 solar panels, an inverter and a solar controller, and I added 2 car batteries just for now. The power came from the inverter to an extension lead. All this made a massive difference as I could stay up the garage a lot longer. The lights worked perfectly just as I planned. But not for long. While I was working on Tom's car, replacing his clutch, my inverter had blown. I had no lights, no power, nothing. So it was back to the drawing board. For this garage to function as a proper workshop, I needed to invest proper flooring and proper lights, and most of all, I needed something even bigger. So the first thing I needed to do was get the power back on, and I did that by buying an inverter from eBay. This is a massive inverter, over 4,000 kilowatts. Probably the most important part of any solar setup is the batteries, and I've searched these ones on Facebook Marketplace. Another thing that I needed was better solar panels. I got these off Facebook Marketplace off a house that was being upgraded. They're 290 watt each. The one thing that really let this garage down was the lack of any power at all. When I fitted the solar panel setup, I used an extension lead and just run everything from that, but that was so difficult and dangerous. I wanted it to be more user friendly and safe, so I put sockets on every wall. That meant I could use anything and plug it in on any side of the car that I was working on, and I know I weren't going to trip over it, and I didn't have to run extension leads all over the garage. Next up is the flooring. Do you know what? I've painted this flooring so many times and it's just crumbled and flaked up. When I'm rolling around on the floor trying to fix a car, I get absolutely filthy. It holds all the dirt in the uneven surfaces and it desperately needs to be improved. There's so many options for garage flooring to choose from, but eventually I chose these plastic floor tiles from Big Doug. So before I could even attempt to lay any flooring, I had to make sure the underneath was nice and clean. So it was only one tool big enough for this job. Silly little thing like plugging an Hoover in, you can take for granted when you've had no electric. This is a massive improvement to the garage already. It's time to lay the floor in, and to start off with, we're going to start laying the flooring at the front of the garage. Now, one of the reasons why I picked these tiles I wanted grey and black checkered, but they were a little bit more expensive, and for now this is going to make it a massive improvement anyway. So all black tiles, and these are the studded version. They're solid, they're like a rubbery solid mat, and they are for garages, so with high traffic as well. So I bought these from Big Doug. These are going to last a lot longer than this concrete floor. So the reason why I started laying the flooring at the front of the garage is I know exactly where the centre is. I can line it up from there to make sure that both sides are equal, so I can work back from the front all the way back to the back wall, and then if I run out of tiles I can always hide the gaps at the back. I can't at the front. And I also make sure that the garage door shuts first and locks properly. Another good thing about the flooring is obviously it's a little bit higher, and with the rubber on the front of the shutter will stop these leaves from blowing in, hopefully. What I also found was a nice touch was the mallet was also included with the flooring. You can see how uneven the flooring is and how much dust is sticking inside, but this floor is really forgiving and it can cover quite a lot of uneven surfaces, and it goes together quite well. So it's only a small garage, but you soon realise how much stuff you accumulate, so I need to be really clever on how I use storage. So I'm taking away the existing shelving and replacing it with something a little bit better. There's nothing wrong with the shelving, it's just big and cumbersome, and I needed something that was going to utilise that corner space a lot better. Now you really have to take your time when cutting the floor tiles, as you don't get many extra tiles to be cut in, so if you waste them you're going to end up buying some more. I use a jigsaw and a multi-saw to cut the tiles, and I just took my time, but this took the longest out of everything that lay in the floor. Just by taking the extra time to measure twice and cut once gives the garage a good finish. All the edges are all cut nice, and I'm well happy about the way the floor's turned out. Do you know, it still haven't sunk in how good these sockets are around the garage. They're going to make life so much easier when working on cars, especially if you have to plug something in or you need to sand something down. You can just plug it in right next to it and with no extension leads. So this is one of two big deliveries. This one's from SGS and I can't wait to get inside. So let's see what's inside this bad boy. So I've gone and bought a garage storage system from SGS with a massive cabinet with shelving and drawers and a worktop. This is going to make a massive difference to the garage and utilise that corner space. What I'm concerned about is everything else is inside. So when this was getting delivered, I was expecting a few boxes, but it came in one big box and I weren't expecting everything to be crammed inside. I wouldn't want to be the person packing all this in because it's like a game of Tetris. So all the cabinets comes on wheels. To be honest, I was quite surprised how easy this was to put together, but if I didn't have my impact gun it would probably take twice as long, but the instructions are really clear and easy to read, and I didn't have to put all the drawer fronts on, so that was a bonus. be honest, I'm well impressed with the quality of this. There's one. Got another one to put together here. Very similar, just a different layout. So far, I'm really impressed with the quality of these units. They weren't overly expensive, but they weren't cheap either. So the big cabinet comes on these adjustable feet that you have to fit, but which are great if you've got uneven surfaces, you can get it level. This storage unit also comes with a desk or a worktop. It's really thick material, to be fair, and I was quite impressed with the quality. But you can move it anywhere you want, but I put it next to the cabinet like it is in the pictures. This is going to be a great space to sit down now and do these finer little jobs. I still wanted to keep some of the shelving, so I put my plastic shelves in the corner out of the way. From the front of the garage you wouldn't even see this there, but you still need some sort of storage to put your oils and sprays and everything else. What I also like about this unit is these drawers and cabinets can slide underneath the desk and free up space, especially if you, like me, haven't got a lot of room. Now this unit also comes with these metal plates that go on the back wall. Now these are designed so you can use hooks that come separately, so you can knock spanners and things all over them, but they just look nice, just screwed to the wall for now, but I will do something with them later on. It also comes with 2 units at the top and some shelving. This looks absolutely amazing, and what a difference. It's starting to feel more like a workshop and very high end and very professional. I've been waiting ages to get into this box. I've had it for about 2-3 weeks now. My wife and kids bought me this for my birthday, and it's my first proper tool chest. I've never owned one. I've never had enough tools to go in one, but I've been looking forward to having this, and I've had it in the garage in the corner for a while, just in this box, waiting for this moment, and I'm so chuffed putting it together. It's going to make it a lot easier just moving things around. I mean, all my tools are in just one place. I can pull it closer to the car if I need to and move it around, or I can just separate it with this little tool chest and put it somewhere else. Fantastic design. This is a massive moment for me. This is going to be so much of a game changer. It's unreal. I've wanted one of these platform lifts for a long time. This is off eBay. The company is GEG, and I messaged them, and then we got into a conversation, and I've managed to get a little bit discounted price. Now that was a MoFit delivery that I've had it delivered. If you haven't got that, you can go and collect it, but I highly recommend having it delivered with a forklift. There's no way you'll be able to lift this on your own. It is absolutely really heavy and good quality, so there's no way you can lift this on your own. Before I start delving into this lift, I want to talk to you a little bit more about GEG. GEG, Garage Equipment Group, is one of the UK's largest independent suppliers of garage equipment, including tyre changers, wheel balancers, 2-post lifts, 4-post lifts and scissor lifts. Located in northwest England, they are able to distribute garage equipment across the UK with multiple options for delivery. You can also go direct to site and collect if you wish, but you will need a trailer. So they have plenty of options to meet everyone's budget, so why not try them out? GEG on eBay. A fantastic company, and the link is in the description below. This platinum lift also comes with a mobile kit, so I'm able to move and maneuver the lift all around the garage to best suit whatever car I'm using, so I can bring it forward or back depending on the length of the car. This is a lift uses hydraulic oil rather than compressed air. This is also included in with the lift along with the instructions. What I love about this control panel, it's very modern and stylish, but it's also everything is built in and compact. It also comes with wheels so you can maneuver it all around the garage if you need to. So in this box we've got the transport wheels so we can move it around, and we've got the rubber chocks, I suppose you call them. 2 different thicknesses. We'll go through it all. Now, one of my biggest issues is where to put the RAM. Well, I think the controls will go in that side, so that cable needs to be over this side, so this needs to be twisted around so the opposite way. The only issue is this weighs an absolute ton. How am I going to get this off the pallet? So I needed to get the wheels on, so the only thing I can think of is using the jack just to jack it up enough so I can get the transport wheels on, so I'm able to at least pull the scissor lift off the pallet. This was a struggle on my own, to be honest. You don't realise how heavy this is. It doesn't look like much, but it is really good quality and really heavy. So the lift comes with these plates that go on the front and back of the lift. Now these basically extend the lift a bit longer, so if you've got a longer vehicle you can extend it a bit longer and they lock into place. But they also drop out of the way if you've got a shorter vehicle so you can get to the wheels. Pretty simple to fit, but I did struggle with the clips. The hardest part about this is getting these little circlips back on. Don't worry too much, I'm not going into much detail in this video. There will be another separate video on the installation of this lift. But I can honestly say the lift was very simple to set up, and just follow the instructions and you'll have no issues at all. What I loved about this lift is a single phase lift, so it plugs directly into the mains and runs off at 240 volts. So my inverter is 4 kilowatts and this draws about 2.2, so it shouldn't be any problems. Very good. So after a couple of days of working on this lift, trying to get it to work, I've sussed out what was wrong and I'll explain what I've done. So these cables were part of the link up between the batteries and the inverter. They were joined up to these and the batteries are up there. And what has happened is this cable is the proper cable from the inverter that come with the inverter. But what had happened is, so this cable is a bit thicker than this cable, and this was causing a current issue. So when the lift was being pressed, it was drawing so much current and the wiring couldn't cope with the demand. So the batteries were working, but it wasn't supplying the inverter quick enough for it to draw the energy, I'm assuming. That's how I'm thinking it's working. It's basically the current was restricted by the thickness of the wire. So I've got the batteries down to shorten the wiring at the moment. What I'm going to be doing is moving these back up there, probably a new set of batteries, because these are only 92 amp and I could do with bigger ones. The lift does draw quite a bit of power, so I'll probably invest in bigger batteries again, but for now it works. And I'm going to get thicker cables and a bit longer. Obviously they're going to be fused with a fuse to the batteries or breaker, and then it'll be back up on top. But for now it has to go like that. So let's try this lift one more time. Fingers crossed. What can I say? I'm absolutely chuffed to bits with my most recent purchase. These cabinets from SGS make a massive difference to the garage and make it user friendly. Everything is laid out, and obviously I'm going to be improving things as we go along. I've already started working in here, so that's why things are back to a little bit of a disorganized mess, but I know where everything is. But this is absolutely amazing and I am chuffed to bits, and this is going to speed up time no end. So tell me what you think of the garage update and what the garage is like now, and tell me what you think of the new purchase. If you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and like the video, and I will catch you all in a bit.